Storm, a Christmas game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy, nor game design, nor Christmas. Actually, we've had about 80 of them between us. But anyway.
Okay, we're very well versed in Christmases.
We're very knowledgeable about Christmas. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And we, as usual, around this time of the year, we are going to do our holiday special. And the only real difference here is that when we play Click Pitch, we're going to make them all holiday themed. Every game is going to have some sort of Christmas or other related or nearby holiday theme to it.
Definitely.
What's Click Pitch, Trevor? What is that? What's that thing I said?
Click Pitch is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us. On the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we're going to take some random words, we're going to throw them at each other, come up with a game design, and it's going to be Christmas themed, and it's going to be awesome, and when it doesn't actually work, or when we get bored of it, we throw those words away, we get some new ones, and we come up with a brand new game design.
Yeah, we do that for about an hour, so sit tight, listen up.
Well, we do it for a little bit longer, then we edit it down to about an hour, so yeah.
Shh, that's movie magic. Podcast magic. All right, let's get into it.
3, 2, 1, click. Terrified dessert.
Ooh. Stimulated opinion. So Christmas desserts.
It's either... I'm wondering whether we take it either as dessert or whether we take it as a desert.
Or dessert as in to dessert. Oh, that's still one S, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You'd have a verb to dessert, which is where you throw a handful of custard trifle at someone. Mm-hmm. You've deserted them.
You know what? I'm going to make a choice.
Okay.
I'm going to go desert.
Sure. You're just going to change it into a completely different word. But that's fine. Wait, did it have one S or two S's?
It had two S's, but
yeah, it had two S's. You're just going to throw an S away. All right.
I'm throwing an S away.
Okay, stimulated opinion, terrifying desert.
Mm-hmm.
How does Santa fare in the desert climbs?
Well, what happens when Santa has a reindeer blowout and he crashes in the desert and has to, change his reindeer?
Does Santa ride sandworms when he's in the desert? Does he kind of switch it out and it just poops out presents?
Oh, I kind of like that. That, when he's actually...
Is this Mad Max Christmas edition? Is this the dystopian, nuclear desert?
I do quite like that. Where Santa is actually, he's alone in the desert.
Yeah.
Driving along in his sandworm pulled jalopy.
Yeah, he's got not the huge dune sandworms, just regular size, not regular size worms, because they'd be tiny.
Thousands of them. Millions of worms.
That's not too bad, actually. He's somehow managed to harness thousands of worms. It's just this writhing mass pulling his cobbled together sleigh as he delivers, I don't know, water?
Water and petrol.
Water and petrol? Is this the petrol fueled Mad Max style?
I think it's set in the same universe, just with worm masses.
This is Santa. This is Worm Santa.
Yep.
Okay.
I think he makes mention to, dropping off presents to the kids at the Thunderdome, and now he's off to the next
encampment, thousands of kilometers away, out in the Australian.
So,
desert.
What were your words again?
Stimulated opinion.
Okay, he comes across a town, and they
don't believe in him,
and that's an opinion. Yes, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, but if it's stimulated, they're stimulated because they can obviously see that Santa is in front of them. And their opinion of Santa not being...
Is this the real... Do we do Santa Christmas magic and this is the real Santa? Or is this just some weird guy?
I do like the idea of it being really Santa, but you're not sure. Okay. You're not sure.
Do you play Santa? Or do you play someone in this town?
You play Santa.
Okay.
and no one else
the player's
believes.
not sure.
The player's not sure because there's no magic going on until the very end when he enchants the next load of worms to like become the mass. And
on squirmy, on slimy, on
he has to say all 1
writhing
million.
and yeah, it takes him all night. So just how he wastes his time between encampments that are really far away. So are we doing? Is this open world style like the actual Mad Max, existing Mad Max game? Is this more of a road trip sort of situation?
I forgot about the existing Mad Max game. That was really cool.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. I need to go back and play
good.
that. I'm about to have 3 weeks off, so I'm going to spend some time playing the original Mad Max.
And then you can just deck your car out like Santa, and it'll effectively be our game.
You don't get those
white on there.
Maybe I can learn how to mod the game, and I can mod like 1 million squirmy mass.
3 weeks off is forever. You can do anything in 3 weeks.
Anything.
But our game. So are you thinking it's? What do you reckon? This feels more like a guided kind of, but as you go between towns, or are you saying it's only the one town? Is this mostly set around one town?
I do like it being set in one town, and it's basically he's got to break it. Like as I sort of said, he's got a worm blowout, not a reindeer blowout, but he's got a worm blowout. Like basically, they've got worm traps, or they've got some sort of traps when he comes into town, and
he stops for the night somewhere, and he wakes up and he finds that some fucking dirty little desert kid has eaten all his worms. Like they were hungry, and
he knows it was his
squirmy,
kid.
slimy.
If he knows it was this kid
whirly,
because
2 heads.
I don't know whether you've seen recently the movie Slither, but that kid looks like that.
He's that huge.
He's that big.
Well, no, I think he just cooked him up. I think he just cooked him up, but maybe he took him home for his family.
He ate 1 million of them. Like, he's got to be big.
But worms are small.
And they're all still moving inside of him. He slurped them down, and they didn't die in his stomach acid. The first one he did, but
so they're just like kind of creeping out all his orifices constantly. There's a weird villain for you. The kid who ate all the worms, and they're not dead. They're not all dead. He's getting coal. Wait, they might want coal because they can burn it for fuel.
Yeah, so he only offers.
He's
coal
getting a rock.
He only offers coal to the nice kids,
to the nice kids,
and he offers like toys to the kids who
they're completely useless, and they're all ruined anyway. So is this like...
There's just something about that. Like, the kids actually want coal because it's combustible, and they don't want presents because, it's just plastic shit that
doesn't even burn well.
It doesn't burn well.
Doesn't propel anything.
Actually, it's just a waste of good oil.
Yeah. So does Santa get into like Thunderdome sort of esque fights? Is this all just about him collecting another 1 million worms? Is there a collectible aspect to it? Dropping worm traps.
It's a small town, and there's like 1 million worms that you can pick up, and it's like, okay, they're just everywhere. Like,
they're just everywhere, but you have to find all of them.
It's like that Korok hunt in Zelda Breath of the Wild, but just fucking worse. just way worse. Yeah, you don't even get any real hints. They do make a little sound, but it's the sound of like a worm on sand. Which to a worm is loud.
Yeah, to a worm is loud. And when there's 1 million of them, it's really loud. But once you're down to the last, 100,000, then it becomes a bit trickier. All right, I think let's move on from this
Jesus
weird
Christ
Christmas wasteland.
That was so good.
3, 2, 1, click.
That was so good.
Figured shoulder.
Swimming, popping.
Balloons. You don't do balloons.
The second that you
popping
said
could be crackers.
Oh, yes.
Christmas crackers.
Christmas crackers.
I think
Swimming.
that's an Australian thing. I think that, did they
And
do that
English,
up
I
there?
think. And English.
Maybe, yeah.
That's a very English sort of custom.
Yeah.
I could just imagine.
So, swimming as well. Is this like an Australian Christmas setting?
Yeah, because it's good. Just like the last game where it's hot at Christmas time because, Mad Max is set in Australia.
Either because you're in the southern hemisphere, or it's a nuclear wasteland.
And in fact, if you really wanted to know, Mad Max is actually only set in 2030, and it's because they didn't sign the climate change.
They hit net zero. And
didn't hit net zero and didn't even bother trying. Like, that's just what happened.
They aimed for 2050 and they fucked it all up. So, all right. Australian summer. This is White Wine in the Sun, the video game.
Ben, make sure that you actually link that to in the description
to the Tim Minchin song.
The Tim Minchin song, because that is such a classic.
Oh, it's amazing. Yes. Christmas anthem. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shoulder is just because you get sunburned.
Yeah.
I don't know what fig it is, but whatever.
Okay. So, I think that this is a family that is camping.
Okay. Yep.
Over the Christmas break.
Yep.
And it's the story of what happens this Christmas Eve.
Okay.
With his family, and they've gone swimming in the and all that sort of stuff. They're sort of away from everywhere. It's just they've got this little. I don't know whether it's a river or whether it's some sort of
like a creek or whatever, or
something
lake,
that I can swim
maybe.
in, but so it's got to be a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
but I'm picturing just this lovely campground. And
does it turn into like bush horror though?
No, I think this is just a nice story about a family at Christmas time, and
then Crampo comes.
Crampo,
the Australian Krampus.
Crampo, the bunyip.
Crampo, the bunyip eater.
Okay, so this night, there's a jolly swagman who turns up and sort of he recounts like stories.
Jolly swagman. I mean, that's just Santa in a nutshell, really. How did I never realize that Waltzing Matilda is about Santa?
100%.
Stealing sheep.
Yep.
Okay, yep.
So there's just something about, this whole not narrative sort of thing necessarily, but almost like an interactive story that, you get to, cook some fish and, go fishing and tend to your kids' needs and all this sort of stuff. And then
I kind of like this as a VR thing, maybe just because
the mundane is so much fun in VR.
The sound of the Australian bush right in your ears. You can hear the heat. And I think all Australians know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
You can hear the heat. And then you have like the nights cool off and you're all sitting around a campfire.
Yes, because even though it's summer, it's like when the temperature drops, it fucking drops.
Yeah. And then one night you're in your tent in a fucking thunderstorm because the cool changes come around.
There's just something about like a simple camping game that is set at Christmas time, and it's all the kids are worried that Santa's not going to come and give them presents and all this sort of stuff, and
I think that could be really good, and essentially just mini games, just one of these ones where like you've got stuff to do, like you got to put up your tent, you got to but while you're putting up the tent, you've got all the other few families or the rest of your family and the kids and stuff running around. They're doing things. Stuff happens. If you look over there, you see, your brother-in-law trying to set up their tent as the kids keep kicking it over because their kids are fucking little assholes. I should say, I have a brother-in-law who has kids. Obviously, 2 of them. Their kids are not assholes. This is a hypothetical family. And then, like sitting around the campfire and just like toasting marshmallows or cooking a fish or whatever. And just you're getting story and you're getting stuff coming out about different relationships in the family, and maybe they're gossiping about someone who's not there or who's showing up late. Or they show up by surprise or something, and so you then get this bit of information about what the family thinks of them, and then the tension of them being there.
Yeah, Uncle Phil is telling the kids about Crampo, the Krampus.
Yes.
And how if they haven't been good...
If you haven't been good, Crampo's going to sneak up on you in the night.
And little Sarah, she's worried that, she told a fib, like, earlier that day, and now she's, coming clean about it, and, hoping that, it hasn't affected the whole standing with Santa, and... there's just
exactly.
something nice about that, and if you do,
it's well I feel enough. Like so much of it would be in the sound design to really get that right, because there's such a distinct sound to the Australian summer, and then just getting. I mean, if you do that well enough, good voice acting and stuff.
You do that well enough, you don't even really need too much music because you've got the Bush Orchestra.
Yeah. Exactly. The sound of the possums fucking in the trees.
The sound of a drop bear stalking a nearby hoop snake.
The sound of a drop bear as its fangs extend from their
as it sucks the blood of a hoop snake.
And the woeful song of the bunyip in your ears as you fall asleep. Love it. 3, 2, 1, click. Find photograph. Find.
Revolting symmetry.
Revolting symmetry. Well, I saw photograph and I was thinking someone's trying to capture Santa on film.
Yes.
Or elves or whatever. Do they get fined for it? Are they getting fined for setting up illegal photography equipment on roofs around town, or is this a game where that is your goal? You're like buying different equipment, setting it up in places, avoiding the cops who like because you're setting it up illegally.
Oh no! Are you saying that you're breaking into kids' houses?
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was more thinking like
and setting up surveillance equipment, trying to capture.
I mean, you could go down that route.
There's something about that idea of this guy who's trying to legitimately prove that, once and for all.
Maybe maybe it's around social media and all the photographs that get taken. Either this person runs a social media company, because I kind of love the idea of fucking Zuckerberg deciding that he's obsessed with finding Santa. Or it's someone who's like hacked in to get access to everyone's photos. But either way, it's essentially around training like AI to look at every photo to find Santa. Because someone around the world has to catch him on film.
You that's what you'd hope anyway. Okay, so is this guy like really, really creepy? Like
he's a billionaire, yeah.
So is that where the revolting comes in? Like, and then
either,
who are you
either
playing?
that or by the end of the thing, the populace is revolted up against them.
Yeah, true.
Because of their privacy concerns. No, I think because I was almost picturing this as one of these like on desktop games where you're actually just like manipulating software and photos and stuff and like chatting with people and like an Orwell or a Emily was away or is away or like this sort of thing where it's a faux desktop.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Because then you can have cool things of like thousands of photos, when you get it. So I wonder actually if maybe it is better if you're hacking in.
I like the fact that you're a researcher and you're looking into this company. And you've stumbled across what this Zark Muckerberg has managed to do, which is set up all these cameras throughout everyone's homes because like everyone's gone into the metaverse and therefore that's it. It's yes, exactly. Perfect. Something along. I was going to say like
he's essentially sold an elf on the shelf style thing that, like, there's a camera inside everyone. But yes, it could be everyone set up your metaverse camera because it lets you, it takes a full 3D scan of your room and lets you, transmit yourself into the metaverse.
Yeah, and the cool thing, as part of a Christmas special, like, you can show up on the screen and they'll show the kids when Santa, like, came and dropped off their presents and all this sort of stuff. And
yeah, so exactly. So,
but really, what he's trying to do is capture those pictures. He's trying to
actually capture. So they're not just pictures, but literally 3D scans of the entire rooms of as many households across the world as possible.
But as we know, Santa is invisible. Like,
Santa bends light. Yeah.
Santa bends
cannot
light.
Be photographed. No, well, I think actually it's more fun if he can. Or at least sometime, like that he might slip up. Like in this new technological world, Santa is now at the point where Santa can no longer hide. Or at least not as well.
No, because he doesn't know anything about how LiDAR works. Like,
yeah, can hide from visible light, the visible light spectrum.
LiDAR, for those people who don't know, is like this new technology that they're using in quite a few
iPhones and stuff.
And stuff like that, especially the Pro ones, where you can take like a full 3D scan because it puts out like lasers and then works out how long it takes to get that back, and that determines how far away it is.
Accurate depth reading, essentially, for every pixel, I think.
But the fact that
Santa can't dodge lasers.
Santa can't dodge lasers. No.
So I do like the idea then of stumbling upon this in some way. Like, you're researching it because you think it's, there are privacy concerns around having these cameras in everybody's house, essentially.
Yep.
So you're trying to find more stuff about that technology, and then I don't know, maybe you get like an anonymous tip off and like a login, and you start getting access to parts of this company's data.
Okay,
including the scans and
who gave you, like, I think
you find out it was definitely Santa. I think Santa tipped you off because he needs someone to shut this down.
I kind of like the idea that it's like an email from Slugsworth, and it's like, is this a Willy Wonka thing? It's like, no, I was just showing that, it's a reference.
Yeah, you can call it. We'll call them Snailsworth. It's the shell company.
It's a shell company of Slugsworth. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely like Santa essentially using you to shut this all down. But so you're communicating back and forth with this mysterious person and getting deeper and deeper into the data. Emails then going back and forth, messages. You start getting access to some of these scans where, like, it's untextured, but there's like a foot that looks, mysterious, like a 3D, just bit of a foot at the edge of the scan that looks like it's got, ruffles down the down at the ankle and different things, and you start seeing that he's been capturing Santa in these various ways.
But I think there are two endings to the game.
Sure.
One where you manage to stop this plot and Santa's fine.
Yep.
But there's another one where the reason why Santa's being so adamant at stopping this is because if Santa ever gets captured on film, it actually captures his good essence, and it's just the bad Santa that remains. And it's sort of like, it captures his soul.
Billy
sort of
Bob
thing.
Thornton. All that's left is Billy Bob.
Yep.
This is actually the prequel to the Bad Santa movies.
Exactly.
Here's what was left. Yeah. I like having multiple endings like that. I like having an ending where you fail. Certainly.
But I definitely like a faux desktop sort of thing. And you can go through lots of different little hacking mini games and,
Well, that's it. And I think,
you're going through Unix terminals and all this sort of stuff. And
think it'd probably be fairly linear, but it more comes from just the fun of feeling like you're hacking in and discovering this stuff and then getting the surprises of, the messages from people. And, often in these games you'll have, one of your best buds or whatever who you're talking to about it the whole time. And
it turns out that's Zark.
Then they get hacked.
That's Zark Muckerberg. It's himself. He's taken over all your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely get to face off against
Zark. Yeah.
Zark. Jesus. I had one image of you're sort of flicking through images. I like the ideas of having these huge folders of photos that you sometimes have to go through to just, essentially pattern matching. You're trying to find red or white or, particular patterns. And you're clicking through. Nobody's seen anything. And then all of a sudden, it's just like a full-on face view of Santa. He's just staring into the camera. He just completely fucked up that time. What are these things? Click. Fuck. Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, click. Thankful Miss.
Musical Galaxy.
Ooh.
Space Santa. It's where Santa goes for the rest of the year. There's lots of other planets.
Oh, so it's not future, it's just... Oh, yeah, all these people disparaging him for he only works one night a year. It's no, he's got different planets to do. He's full on.
He gets one night off every 4 years, and that's because leap years come along, and that's his 1 day off. It's the only reason why we've got a leap year is because he needs a holiday.
Although I kind of like the idea of Santa actually not being a person, but just being this kind of mysterious force that travels the universe on a regular thing, almost like a comet coming back around every year.
Yeah.
But it's the Christmas force that. And so, may the Christmas force be with you.
Use the force.
What that means is we can explore how that manifests in these different places, and the legends and the myths that come up around it. So, what sort of gameplay works for being able to explore that in as many different interesting context as possible, to really jump around between planets a lot and have it be relevant on all of them.
Are you part of the flight crew?
The flight crew for Santa for the Santa Force?
For Santa's comet, as in.
Well, I was more thinking it's
or you're
investigating it, maybe.
Well, I'm just wondering whether you're one of the elves that works alongside this thing, and you actually. You fly a spaceship alongside this mystical comet force to I was kind of thinking it's
protect it. It's very much more of a astronomical phenomenon that's been going for billions of years essentially, and maybe it's maybe it's attracted to intelligent beings or something, or it just so happens that it essentially travels through every point in the universe once a year, and so but it's only when it's in the presence of intelligence that. It sort of changes things in certain ways.
So yes, you were part of an intergalactic investigatory
research,
Galactic Bureau of Investigation. I don't know. There's
the GBI.
The GBI
sounds like an STD.
Or the Galactual Intelligence Agency, the GIA.
Mm-hmm. Or the Galaxy Army that studies poop. I don't know. Gasp. Just trying to come up with any sort of short word.
Galactical Aeronautical Space Agency? GASA?
Anyway, whatever it is.
Let's go with the GIA. The GIA is pretty cool.
Well, wait, are they more of a space research thing, or are they a intelligence agency?
True. If they're investigating, then it should be the GBI.
Okay, but they're still like a governmental agency as opposed to sort of a research...
A Galax mental
research facility?
Yes, a Galax mental agency, yes. That's...
That doesn't... The Galaxment.
Exactly, because it's not like it's not governed
It's not the
by
government. But they're not galaxing the galaxy. They're governing the galaxy. The governancy. No. We can't get a pun out of that. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
All right.
Damn it, we tried. Oh, we're sorry, viewers. Listeners, whatever. We're recording right
You
now.
You might be viewing.
Who knows whether Trevor could be bothered putting this episode out or not on the new video streams, or whether we're just getting
or something, or whether we're just using gigs and gigs of data for no reason. We'll look back on it in 40 years.
I remember when we were young and we did.
We couldn't come up with a pun for the galaxy government. Oh, it was so stupid. It's obviously galaximent. No,
yes.
Fuck, it still doesn't work.
It still doesn't work. Shit. Oh well, back to young me.
Because we invented time travel since then, and apparently I got an English accent in that time in 40 years. Okay. So, if you're... I guess I'm trying to figure out, are you doing this for purely research purposes, or is this sort of something more sinister? Is this a government trying to, like, take control of the Christmas force for nefarious reasons?
I think there is another agency who are trying to, capture this force and investigate it and crush it. But you're trying to figure out why this force, travels around the galaxy, and only the galaxy, not the universe. It's just the galaxy.
Yeah, that's fine. So I think I definitely want you to play an alien race.
Yes.
And to come across many other alien races. I think we literally only make, like, oblique references to humanity at all, to humans and Earth.
I was going to say...
They're not part of the galactic whole yet.
And they said, should we travel to Earth? No, for it is a stupid place.
For it is a stupid place. They think Santa is a jolly man. We all know that the Christmas force manifests as a six-limbed, tall creature. All the better to
that
deliver
presents.
It poops presents and flings them.
It poops
planet to planet
that are wrapped, but they happen to come from local stores, and it's very interesting.
There's a whole workshop of elves within its bowels. It's quite incredible.
And somehow it also manifests receipts for if there's a problem with the gift, they can take it back to a local store and get it fixed.
It comes out a different hole.
It's like a arse printer or something. It doesn't print arses, it just prints receipts.
But that's just one alien's interpretation, right? Like one race's thing that the myth of it has built up over time.
So is it like Mass Effect that you're going around asking questions and you got little side quests along the way? Like,
yeah, maybe. I definitely want you to visit as many places as possible. And so maybe you do just play some sort of researcher where, they got wind. They realized that, wait, that planet, is 57 light years away. But, it
was hit
one
rotation.
After. Yeah, like one thousandth of a rotation before us. They celebrate their holiday thing, and it's remarkably similar in certain ways. Like there's a lot of red and white and bells, like resonant sharp resonant sounds involved. And then so you start exploring that, and eventually you catch up. You somehow create a fucking warp drive that travels through the Christmas zone.
What I think actually happens is you're flying around the next planet that you think is going to be hit, because it sort of goes up and back along the galaxy.
Sine wave.
So you can sort of see, okay, we reckon it's going to hit here very soon, and you're like orbiting the planet, and bang, the comet sort of comes in, goes around around the planet and all this sort of stuff, and then pulls you into the wormhole behind it, like, because I think it's just opening up.
You just start hearing bells,
and it's like,
and smelling peppermint, but you don't call it peppermint because
in space no one can hear you scream because there's no oxygen out there. How the hell can we be hearing bells?
It's like telepathically broadcast from this thing. Any intelligent being within range hears bells and smells peppermint. Or the local equivalent. And and then you end up in the Christmas zone.
Yeah, I think that's the zone.
It's like a pocket dimension.
Yeah, and that's how he can get around so fast. He goes in and out.
There actually is a being in there.
Well, no, I think it's just a dimension that looks funnily.
It's essentially the
enough,
entrance.
It looks like a Christmas sweater, but in 4 dimensions.
In reverse.
So
the dimension does itself?
Yes.
It's just like knitted patterns.
It is a giant, 4-dimensional sweater. Like, everywhere you look, it's what you would imagine a 4-dimensional sweater to look like. That's what it is.
What are you imagining it as, Mr. Aphantasia?
I'm describing it as lots and lots of wool, and
because it's breaking my brain. Yes, I think everywhere you look, there's essentially like zigzag patterns and snow and Christmas trees. Or I mean, it might just be actually how your mind perceives it as well.
Yeah,
because I don't actually want the Christmas trees and things to be universal. There are only certain aspects that are universal. Certain wavelengths of light that, are perceived as red or white. Yes, the resonant sound that you might perceive as bells, or you might perceive as water running down the golden waterfalls of Shazbut, or whatever. That's for Kang and Kodos. That's how they perceive Santa. The 3-to-1 click.
3-to-1 click. That was cool, though. Oh, we forgot to put musical in. Oh, no, I suppose you can. That's all the bells and shit. Yeah. I was thinking that maybe as Santa turns up, you hear Santa Claus is coming. It's like, no, it's that High Five song from ER.
That's the one thing that has somehow it actually permeated the Christmas zone and was transmitted across the galaxy.
Yep. Unfortunately.
It's an echo.
3-to-1 click, permissible belonging.
Alcoholic leader.
Ooh. So, alcoholic leader, that's just Santa after Christmas.
Santa, just drunk Santa. I wonder, though.
What if, Santa took a holiday and it was left to the elves to go do this year's Christmas gift delivery?
Yeah, well, essentially what it is it's the Santa Claus, but Scott Morrison became Santa. So he fucked off to Hawaii and left the elves. Because he doesn't hold a sack, mate.
God. And so
you don't want to bring the Australian political landscape into the Santa game? Come on. All right. So, not that, but Santa fucks off.
Yes.
The head elf, or the one who takes charge, is driven to drink throughout this process, essentially.
You know that Santa gets left a lot of alcohol,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's cognac, there's sake, there's beers, there's rum, Baileys and milk. which is curdled slightly, but, all the better.
Yeah. The alcoholic eggnog.
Yep.
Whatever you put in. I mean, I think that's often rum or whatever.
Just the bottle of vodka that just got accidentally left beside the milk.
Beside the cookies and the milk.
And, this elf is just going to town. Like, originally they were going to swap every town or so, and he just decided, no,
I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
All right. Is this a bit more of an arcadey kind of game? Because I'm liking the idea of you've just got a ton of elves at your disposal, but as you go, you're like losing elves left and right. I'm almost getting a Lemmings vibe. Or just if you run it into something, you just get like a smattering of elves falling off to their deaths. God, that's absolutely terrible, but so great at the same time. I mean, it's better than the idea that I had, which was the alcoholic leader basically pits all the remaining elves against each other in a tournament called Elf Fighter, and it's literally just a Mortal Kombat-esque tournament that he's sitting there on his throne, trying to judging whether it was throne
a flawless
PS5s.
It was a flawless victory or something.
I don't know. I kind of like this as almost a crazy taxi in Santa's sleigh.
Crazy taxi.
Where you're...
The more that you drink, the more the drunk physics from Sea of Thieves comes in, or...
Well, I think the drinking... I don't know if we should mess with the controls too much. But maybe there are moments where, because I think what it is essentially, okay, now you're delivering to this house, and it's like, get there as fast as you can. You're not actually flying that far off the ground because you haven't figured out the altitude control, so you're having to dodge, trees and buildings and
parked cars and...
Well, I don't know if you may duck down that low, but you can get up to sort of building, to I don't know, 10, 20 meters in the air if but yes, it's you have plenty of obstacles, and so you're making your way through this town and getting to the next spot to drop off presents, and because the elves don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to do it efficiently and actually do it in order. So the next one is going to be, miles away each time. And so it's around the time limit. I think dropping off the presents, I think you can attempt to just throw them as you go past. And if you get good at that,
it turns into Paperboy, and
it's a bit of a Paperboy sort of thing. But if you miss, you either have to go back for another try or you just lose out or whatever, right? We'll have penalties there.
Yeah, you're penalised. Yep.
Yeah.
The kids wake up and they find it in their backyard.
Yeah. But again, just elves, just essentially, we're just going to have to build an elf particle system of just elves, ragdolling elves, just being emitted anytime you run into anything. They just keep coming at it
elf emission.
There's a contingent of them on your sleigh at all times, doing the throwing and stuff. But when you bump into something, they all fall off, and just more of them just climb out of the sack and just take the places of the other ones. So it's just this endless supply of elves.
So is it kind of like the original Grand Theft Autos and stuff, where there were only 30 pedestrians at any one time? It's just it looked like there were more because previous ones would be. Yeah,
I think if the new Matrix Unleashed demo has shown anything, we can have as many things on the screen as we want now. We can have entire pedestrian and tracking systems.
I have not watched that yet. Do they all have ragdolls?
No, the ones in that were actually not. You couldn't even run into them in the cars, but. I'm sure that it's doable. I'm sure we can optimize it. I don't think we need to worry about despawning pedestrians too much or elves. But I'm sure we can optimize it out. But yes, I think I'm almost picturing it as a mix between Crazy Taxi, Paperboy, and Burnout Paradise.
Yeah,
where you can have some aspects of different events around the city
Oh yeah, and you can have like you get to the corner of this road and this road, and you can have a race against like
against the cars that are there.
Well, against Santa's sleigh that you just knock out. Like you're in the elf ship, and then you got Santa's sleigh, and you can have that race down the road to see who can get down the end while delivering all the presents. And
yeah, for sure.
Crash mode, see how much money you can like.
Well, again, crash mode, just the fucking elves flying everywhere in slow motion. It's all about the elves.
Aftertouch.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking really love Burnout.
So if you use the aftertouch, you can actually like still deliver the presents after you've crashed. If you do it well enough, you might still get some extra points.
Cool. 3 to 1 click.
Urgent world.
Smashing lighter. Oh, mate, that's a smashing lighter.
That's a smashing lighter.
That's a smashing lighter that Santa left for you, mate.
In this urgent world of ours, things move so fast. You need a smashing lighter. Okay. We could mix them up and have urgent smashing.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. It's urgent smashing because Santa's sleigh is overloaded.
Okay.
And the elves have to smash as many presents as they can and get them off the ship to lighten the load. Otherwise, they're going to crash into the world, the earth.
That's you just gave me an idea. Mm-hmm. That is one aspect of it. This is a hardcore Santa sleigh flight sim. In the vein of
Microsoft Flight
Sim. Like Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
Or, or like a fucking... What was what was I'm trying to get the pool. Who was the astronaut? Chuck something?
Chuck Yeager.
No. That I don't think it was Chuck. Oh, was it Chuck Yeager? Maybe. Remember back on like the Atari, there was some.
Chuck Yeager, they did a lot of stuff, but he was like a fighter pilot. Or
he was a
like
test pilot. No, I'm thinking of maybe it wasn't Chuck something.
Chuck Yeager's air combat. Chuck Yeager's advanced flight trainer.
Anyway, I might be getting some mixed up. I think there was some sort of like named thing where you would. It was way back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was just. I think it was sort of the hardcore space shuttle sim for the day. But yes, essentially, dials, levers, they all do things. The real things, but you do have things like the weight. You've got magical stuff in there too, right? Like an aspect of this is learning what all these controls do because they're not just like regular airplane controls. There's stuff around, like the how much the sack weighs at any point, how many elves you've got on board. I don't know, like these sorts of things.
There's actually a button to purge the cookies, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
Santa sits in a certain position and it teleports the cookies that are in his stomach out into like an artificial stomach, and that digests it for him.
Yeah, it purges the cookies and it deletes his browser history.
Yes.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, Santa's seen some shit. Like...
Santa, you don't want to know what Santa Googles. You don't want to know what
sometimes
Santa Googles.
Mummy and Daddy are not asleep and he's seen some stuff.
Yeah, so you're saying that when you delete his browser history, it's like taking those memories out of his head to keep him as the unique and innocent Christmas being that he is.
Yes, and also all those cookies were just going straight to his hips, so he just wants to get rid of.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
that.
there's a physical limit to the cookies. That's a necessity.
Cookies and milk, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah, there is a moment where. Dusty the elf, you find out that has been intercepting the hit browser history purge, and just has a whole file of filthy parent stuff. That's actually what the folder's called.
Filthy parent stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a as you said, it's a hardcore flight simulator with hardcore parental action.
Yeah, but you have to unlock that. Then you get to play as Dusty and you get control of that folder. Yeah. Do you have to? I mean, you've obviously got the sort of campaign mode, the Christmas night mode, where your goal is to get around the world. We use the flight sim tech of like Google Maps, enhanced Google Maps, essentially. So the entire world is represented. Is time,
and the idea is to try and see whether you can do what Santa does. Like, can you deliver all the presents before morning?
Yeah, and I think there's multiple.
No, you can't, because you are not a magical being.
Yeah, but you obviously give some leeway there. So you can have, there are a couple different modes. There's the standard mode, which does give you Santa magic, which lets you essentially slow down time, when you're traveling between certain areas, different things, which makes it...
There's an achievement for delivering all, let's be estimating around 1 billion presents, like a billion. Like, I don't think everyone's going to be, Christian and believe in...
Not everyone's on the nice list.
Well, not everyone believes in Santa, because, there's a lot of religions out there who don't need to believe in Santa. So out of the 5 whatever billion people, there's maybe 1 billion who believe in Santa. So therefore, there's an achievement if you deliver all 1 billion children.
Yes. Is that in one session, or is that a cumulative across runs?
I think it's within a single run, because that's
like literally if you manage to complete the whole thing. Yeah, if
you manage to complete it with Santa magic rules, we're not expecting you to.
No, I don't. I think it would be unachievable. But there is a mode where you can do it without the Santa magic, and this is more for like charity runs, where it's like see how far through Christmas night we can get.
Yeah,
and literally delivering 1 billion presents.
Well, no,
isn't 1 billion seconds like 30 years or something?
Something like that. But in PlayStation parlance, what would you say where you got bronze, silver, gold, and platinum trophies?
Yeah,
I mean, it'd have to be a bronze, wouldn't you say? Like it's like the easiest achievement for Santa. He does it every year.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Santa does it every year. Why should we give fucking little shits at home the anything above bronze? It's easy, obviously.
But if you can, not have cookies and milk when you go in there, that's a gold trophy, because Santa never manages to get out of there without having cookies and milk. Like,
I kind of love the idea of a game where the hardest trophy is just like a bronze, like it's worth like 10 points or whatever, just to piss people off, so that it's just like the last little bit to complete all their trophies.
It's a bronze.
And it's a bronze. Like, it's actually incredibly difficult and almost impossible, but just to make it the smallest thing possible, just to piss off the completionists.
Just because it's arbitrary. And it's like, all you've got left is a bronze and a platinum. But maybe we even give them the platinum. Like, yeah, you can have the platinum. But it's not
the platinum. The platinum's for 1 billion across all runs. So they'll get that eventually just by grinding if they want. But the bronze is for in one run.
Yeah.
All right, 3-2-1 click.
And it's only bronze because Santa can do it in one night every single year. Yeah. So fuck you.
Yeah.
He thinks it's easy. He's been doing it for years.
Unfounded attack.
Legitimate pace.
Ooh. Legitimate pace fits our last game.
Yeah.
Unfounded attack. I mean, all of our games have been fairly tame. So, other than all the elves that fell to their death.
But that was the drunken elves. Leadership.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't an attack. I think this is hyper violent.
Yep.
How do you make a hyper violent Christmas game?
Good question. How do you make a hyper violent Christmas game? I would say that it would have to be like maybe a Mr. and Mrs. Smith style thing, where it's like Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
So they find out that they're They're both assassins, right? I'm just literally taking...
Both assassins. No, I think Mrs. Claus is sick of Santa's shit and has decided she's also going to deliver presents. She's going to start up an opposing delivery service.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like Christmas service.
As they get down into the house, if they happen to see each other, the guns come out and everything, and they're just shooting up the entire place and, like...
Yeah. Well, I think it starts and Santa doesn't know that it's Mrs. Claus. It's just like, this fucking... The gall of this person who is attempting to compete with Santa.
All kitted out in black.
Getting double presents.
Black,
yes.
And she's got night vision goggles, and she's in and out. Like, Santa's there, drinking a little bit of milk, and she's just in and out, and has replaced all the presents.
She's got, like, Santa in this world. Santa's still using all the very classic sort of old school technologies. Sleigh is standard sort of thing, is going down the chimney. Mrs. Claus, she's got all the tech.
Yep.
It's all tech-based.
In fact, she's got all the PlayStation 5s. Like, the reason why no one can buy them is because she's
cornered the market.
She's cornered the market, and she's given them all out this Christmas.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're all digital ones. Like...
As in, they're not the disc ones? Is that
they're discless. They're all the discless ones. The ones that people don't want.
Well, okay. But still, like, they'll take what they can get. So, is this then... Because, yes, I think it gets violent then. Like, when they see each other, the guns come out. You've got weaponry on there. Sleigh. Is there, like, sleigh dogfighting and stuff? Or
there's air combat. There's hand-to-hand combat. There's, like, close quarters battles. There's, like, rocket launchers that she fires off. Like...
Oh, I kind of just... Yes, I love that. It's essentially like a big anime fight if they clash. Like... The town that, wherever they happen to be, it's fucking destroyed afterwards.
Yep. Yeah. Who do you play?
I mean, I think you can go either, mate. I think that's like two different...
Okay, I did say...
multiplayer?
I did say Mr. and Mrs. Smith before, but now I'm thinking it's Ballistic, X versus Sever.
Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu, right?
Yep.
Oh my god.
One of the worst reviewed films ever.
I definitely had
Ballistic.
a burnt CDR with that movie on it in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Probably bought from like Caribbean Market or something like that.
Maybe, or I think I might have even like downloaded it on my what was probably dial up at the time.
Naughty Ben. Ooh.
I paid for it in time because do you know how long it takes to download a movie on dial up and have it be as bad as that?
Real media.
Probably was.
Or Super VCD.
Oh God, that's a pull. But yes, I think. Yeah, I mean, is this multiplayer maybe? Is this like a 1v1 multiplayer situation?
I like that.
Or, oh my God, this is a different game.
Go for it.
But
our game, our show, our rules. Go for it. Different game.
So I just because we've been playing it a lot lately, I thought of Sea of Thieves. Like that you are multiplayer on a sleigh doing different things.
Delivering presents.
Delivering presents, but there are other sleighs out, like there are other ones out there that you can be competing against.
Yep. In
a like semi-open area.
Yep. Okay, we're going deep into this. This is fucking great.
I don't care that we're at an hour already. This is happening because you've got like obviously you've got one person steering, but you might have separate like thrust controls and different things that you need to take care of. You've got people who are dropping presents off the side as they go.
You've got to repair those reindeer, like. You know, you've got to get the wood out and repair the reindeer.
Well, I don't think you just like re-skin thieves
with air combat cannons on the side.
There's just like cannons for some reason on this sleigh. It's really weird. Essentially, all we did was like put in some extra models and delete the ocean. You're still floating on top of it.
And for some reason, you get below where the sleigh is, and you kind of swim a little bit.
Yeah, it's just the weird elf physics. That's just how the elf magic works.
Okay,
I don't know why there are sharks, but
so each team is effectively elves, because I think
yes, I think this is a situation where Santa's gone missing, and so the elves they've sort of grouped up into these teams. Mm-hmm. To deliver the presents, and so maybe sometimes they work together. Again, in a similar way to Sea of Thieves, like you don't have to attack the others.
Set up in lines. You want to get through this street. You want to make sure that you do all the stuff, and then you go to an outpost. I think there's like present outposts, because you know that the sleighs can't fit that many presents. So
I think without Santa's magic, you have limited room on the sleigh.
So the outpost is basically a huge, like, sort of airship that you kind of go up and dock to.
Dock.
There's numerous ones around the town, but
I like that idea of like there's just a tube that just like spews presents out into your sack until you've got a little meter on the side of on the dashboard of your sleigh to show how full your sack is.
Yep. Okay. You can go into people's places that someone else has already delivered presents to, and you can take those presents,
take them,
and deliver your own presents instead. And and it's basically each town, like, sort of thing has like a certain amount of time before the kids are due to wake up. So it's sort of like a day night.
Like a day night. Yeah, you've got like a day night thing where essentially every round is another Christmas night, and daylight is creeping up from one side of the map to the other.
And daylight that's your time for actually, preparing the next night's worth of stuff.
Yeah. I'm wondering, though, I think maybe not up to... I think 4 people is maybe too many on a sleigh, though. I wonder if it needs to be fewer.
2? 2v2?
It could be max 2. It could just be a duo sort of situation. Yes, they're all one sail sleighs. One reindeer sleigh.
But now I really want to have, like, your 4 reindeer sleigh, your 3 reindeer sleigh, and your 2 reindeer sleigh. Like, I kind of like that idea, or at least...
Yeah, okay, look, you could still have bigger ones. I am trying not to literally just directly pull from Sea of Thieves and more go for the general idea, but...
They're never going to make this. We're never going to make this, so fuck them.
No, like, I know, but more from a... Yes, more from a creative standpoint, rather than just reskinning Sea of Thieves. But I do think there needs to be some sort of combat. You need to be able to shoot other sleighs out of the air.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Harpoons as well, like...
Yeah,
essentially like being able to board them in midair.
Ooh, what are the weapons?
I don't know. Do we go full Christmassy and they're like candy cane bazookas and freaking mince pie launchers?
Well, I think the rocket launchers or the grenade launchers are mince pie sort of things. I think candy canes, they're probably more of a melee weapon. Yep. Mm-hmm. So like instead of your cutlass sort of thing, you've got your candy canes that you beat people around the head, and
you got like special moves where you can just yank them with the hook end and pull them to the ground.
Exactly.
Maybe it's mostly melee.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I think the air stuff you can get like rocket launcher stuff, but they're more rare. But the air stuff you mostly have to you actually have to either get them to the ground to attack them or board them with your like harpoon
or you
style
can throw these things. Like I think Christmas baubles. You can actually throw Christmas baubles, and they're kind of like grenades sort of thing. Like if you launch one out.
Yeah. You can also just drop presents on people.
Yeah, I mean, the blacksmith wanted a new anvil. just because it went through your sleigh first.
Anvil. I was going to go for a bowling ball. But yeah, an anvil, sure. Wile E. Coyote needed a new anvil.
No, the blacksmith. Oh, Wile E. Coyote, the blacksmith.
The town blacksmith.
The town blacksmith wanted an anvil. His last one broke when an anvil dropped on it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm a bit
Jesus
loopy.
H. Christmas.
I'm a little bit loopy.
I mean, it is the season.
'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la.
La la la. La.
La la.
La. No, I kind of love that. I would enjoy a Sea of Thieves-esque Christmas delivery.
I mean,
game.
I'm just imagining, all the different things that you could add into the game. There's...
Well, you've got story-based missions where it's like, little Janie doesn't believe in Santa, and so you have to dress 3 elves up in the Santa suit and actually, show... I was about to say expose yourself to her, not that. Let yourself be seen by her in a very kid-friendly manner.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a challenge to that because you don't want other people to interrupt you while you're doing it. You have to collect the suit pieces, and then you literally have to, there's a balancing mini game where the 3 of you or the 4 of you are inside the suit.
And then Jeremy got disconnected and boop.
Yeah. Just
he was the middle elf.
Luckily he was the middle. It would have been much more noticeable if he'd been the head.
Or the legs.
Or the legs. There might have been a big...
The belly all of a sudden just collapsed.
One of the elves is just the belly. It's the 3 elf high Santa and 1 elf is the belly. Just tucked up in there on the middle elf, holding onto their shoulders.
There's a map of where you're supposed to deliver your next presents, as well as being able to, Yeah,
and I think you've just got the challenge of all right, here's where we need to go. If we line up on this line and, all right, get ready to drop, and you can literally just drop presents into chimneys. If you can do that well enough. But not the ones where smoke's coming out, because they'll just burn up.
I'm actually just imagining now that you're on a 4-person sleigh. You drop 1 out of the first place, 1 out of the second place, 1 out of the third place, and then the other person, flies the sleigh around and goes and collects them back up on the next run.
Oh, drops an elf off,
right. And they
can that makes
sense.
Go
hide the presents under the tree rather than just down the fireplace because,
I mean, if you're in a hurry,
the kids may not know where the presents are. They may get there in the morning and go, where are all the presents?
They'll know where they are because the living room will be filled with soot and ash and potentially on fire. It depends.
Did you clean out the dead possum from the flue?
Well, that's what the present's for. Drop it right down. So they'll find the present under the dead possum.
No, on top of the dead possum.
Well, because the present will be tumbles out. Tumble out the bottom. Who knows how it'll land? They may even just
that's the
think the dead possum is the present. What kid doesn't want a soot-covered dead possum for Christmas?
Oh, God.
All right, I think on that Christmassy note, we will end our holiday special. Thank you for listening this week. Thank you for indulging us on our
sorry
weird
for
Christmassy
us being
games.
Very insane.
But if you want to indulge us further and listen to some of our other episodes, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. They're all up there. They're all available all the time. One every single week.
For the last, 5-6 years, whatever.
For all of history. Or at least the relevant history to our podcast.
263. 263 episodes. Give us a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you for that smattering. Thank you. You know who you are. If you like the song that you hear at the start and end, That song is called Mount Defiance. It's on the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust.
I hope you really enjoyed the Christmas remix that Trevor put together just for this episode.
You do realise that you're editing, so you just
but you're
did that to yourself.
You're the remix guy, so you will help me out this episode. Put together a Christmas remix in the next 3 days. Well, actually, we're recording early, so you've got 6 days, Trevor. It's fine. Some of them are Christmas, but put in the time.
No. Sorry about that.
So thank you again for joining. If anyone does want to do a Christmas remix of Mount Defiance, I'd love to
go for it.
It doesn't condone. It does not. It's not the sort of song you would expect a Christmas remix of, but I would love to hear it. Thank you for joining us again this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. He's not very far away.
High five.